The clink of champagne flutes filled the ballroom, but my heart thudded louder, drowning out the chatter. I stood in the corner, gripping my glass, watching my wife, Elena, laugh with her boss, Richard, at the company's annual gala. Her hand rested on his arm, her smile too bright, too intimate. I'd spent 10 years building this company from a garage startup to a tech empire. But tonight I was just Elena's husband, a shadow in a rented tuxedo. Nobody here knew I owned the place, not even Elena. And as Richard leaned closer to her, whispering something that made her blush, a cold realization sliced through me. My wife was betraying me, and I'd been too blind to see it. I'd always trusted Elena. We met in college, two dreamers sketching futures on napkins in dive bars. I coded the software that became our company, but she was my anchor, handling finances, cheering me through sleepless nights. When I sold the company 3 years ago for $200 million, I kept my ownership silent, stepping back to let a board run things while I worked on new projects. Elena begged to keep her marketing job, saying it gave her purpose. I agreed, happy to see her thrive. But now, watching her with Richard, I wondered if her purpose was something else entirely. The gala was opulent, crystal chandeliers, velvet drapes, a string quartet weaving melodies through the air. I'd funded it, ironically, to boost morale. Yet here I was, humiliated in my own kingdom. Richard, a slick executive with a Rolex and a smirk, had mocked me earlier. "So what do you do, buddy?" he'd asked, loud enough for his cronies to snicker. "Stay at home, husband? Elena's the real breadwinner." Huh. The crowd laughed and Elena just smiled, her eyes flicking away. That moment burned, but it was her silence that cut deeper. I sipped my drink, the champagne bitter on my tongue. My mind replayed the last few months, her late nights, her guarded phone, the way she'd pull away when I reached for her. I'd chalked it up to stress, but now the pieces clicked into a jagged puzzle. Richard's hand grazed her back, and my stomach churned. I wanted to storm over, to expose everything, my ownership, her lies, but I needed proof. I needed to understand why. "Enjoying the party, Mark?" a voice interrupted. It was Sarah, Elena's assistant, her expression cautious. She'd always been kind, but tonight, her eyes held pity. "Not exactly," I said, forcing a smile. "Seems like some people are having more fun than others." Sarah followed my gaze to Elena and Richard, now swaying to the music. She hesitated, then leaned closer. "Mark, I didn't want to say anything, but you deserve to know. They've been close for months. Late meetings, private lunches. I saw them together at the hotel bar last week. It didn't look professional." The words landed like a punch. I gripped the glass tighter, my knuckles white. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" "I wasn't sure," she whispered. "Elena's my boss. But I saw how Richard treated you tonight. And it's not right. You're a good guy, Mark. A good guy." The phrase stung. Good guys don't lose their wives to men like Richard. I thanked Sarah, my voice hollow, and turned back to the dance floor. Elena's head rested on Richard's shoulder, her eyes closed, as if the world belonged only to them. My world was crumbling and she didn't even notice. I slipped out to the balcony, the night air sharp against my skin. Memories flooded me. Our wedding, her vows, the way she'd kissed me under a sky full of stars. Had it all been a lie? I pulled out my phone and opened the company's internal server, something I hadn't done in years. As the owner, I had access to everything: emails, calendars, even security footage. My fingers trembled as I searched Elena's account. There it was. Dozens of emails between her and Richard, some professional, others not. "Can't stop thinking about last night," one read. Another. "Mark suspects nothing. We're safe." My chest tightened, each word a dagger. Then I found the calendar entries, hotel bookings, client dinners that matched Richard's schedule. The betrayal wasn't just emotional. It was calculated, deliberate. I could have stopped there, but I didn't. I pulled up the Gala security feed on my phone, rewinding to an hour ago. The footage showed Elena and Richard in a corner, his lips brushing her ear, her hand squeezing his. My vision blurred with tears, but I kept watching, masochistic, needing to feel the full weight of her deception. Back inside, the party was peaking, but I felt like a ghost. I approached the stage where Richard was about to give his speech. Elena stood beside him, radiant, oblivious to my presence. The MC handed him the mic, and Richard's voice boomed, "All charisma and lies. This company thrives because of loyalty. he said, glancing at Elena. To our team, our vision, and the people who matter most. I couldn't take it anymore. I stepped forward, my voice cutting through the room. Loyalty, Richard? That's rich. The crowd hushed, heads turning. Elena's eyes widened, her face paling. Richard frowned, trying to laugh it off. Hey buddy, save the toasts for later. No, I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside. I'm done being your punchline. And I'm done letting you think you run this show. I turned to the crowd, my heart pounding. My name is Mark Thompson. 10 years ago, I founded this company. I've stayed silent, letting others take the spotlight. But I own every share, every decision, every dollar in this room. Gasps rippled through the audience. Elena's hand flew to her mouth, her eyes darting between me and Richard. I faced her, my voice breaking. I trusted you, Elena. I gave you everything, my heart, my dreams. And you threw it away for him. The room was silent, the air thick with shock. Richard stammered. Mark, let's talk privately. No, I snapped. You humiliated me in front of everyone. Now you'll face the consequences. I pulled up my phone, projecting the security footage onto the ballroom screen. The crowd watched as Richard and Elena's stolen moment played out, undeniable, raw. Elena sobbed, reaching for me. Mark, please, I'm sorry. Sorry. I stepped back, tears streaming down my face. You planned this. You lied every day. You broke us. I turned to the board members in the crowd. Richard's fired, effective now. I'm resuming control of my company. Then to Elena, my voice barely a whisper. We're done. I walked out, the weight of betrayal heavy but my steps firm. The night air hit me again, colder now, but I didn't stop. Behind me, the gala dissolved into chaos, but I was already gone, carrying the shards of a life I'd never rebuild the same way. Trust once shattered, leaves edges too sharp to mend.